What is happening, my friends? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. This is, I believe, episode 284. That's right, 284. I want to welcome you to your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes. Filtered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. As always, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Uh let's uh let's Let me just start off by saying, y'all, as always, I'm so honored and privileged to have you to welcome you to the Arrington Gavin Show. If you are newcomers, for those who are repeat viewers and listeners, I thank you so much for your continuous support. Please be sure to do me a favor, share with friends, share with family, share about our program. We air episodes 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays. We want to give you all things pop culture related, all things sports related, all things political, all things entertainment, you name it. We talk about it, as well as share great conversation with some influential folks from all genres of the spectrum. um on today's show, obviously we're going to tap it into a lot of stuff within this hour, but as always, I just want to thank you all for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. uh Look, do me a favor also, download, if you haven't, download Goatverse TV, the Goatverse TV app. It's free on the App Store for you iPhone users. It's also available on Google Play Store for all you Android users out there. It's free, as well as on Roku and Amazon Fire. Goatverse TV is an amazing network that I'm honored to be a part of. It's a rising network filled with great personalities. You'll get all the latest in entertainment, all the latest in music, all the latest in relationships, all the latest in music. You get to tune into some of the rising stars in music, independent artists, and you get me as well. And so I'm excited to be a part of Goatverse TV, and I hope that you all can join the family, join the movement in building this amazing network. So yes, I'm excited to be a part of this awesome network. By the way, did I mention it was free? Yes, that is one of the many platforms that you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. You can also listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can whether if it's Spotify, you can download the iHeart Radio app. If you happen to be an iHeart fan, you can listen to us through there. You can also watch us, as I mentioned earlier, on Goatverse TV. You can follow our subscribe on our YouTube channel, the Arrington Gavin Show. You can also watch us on Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show. So multiple ways. I always say for my conservative viewers out there that probably are anti YouTube, hey, look, I'm on Rumble. You can follow me on there. And for all my strong, liberal, independent folks, and even I'll say center right YouTube, I'm available on there as well. Look, we're seeing a rise in our subscribers, so I want to thank you. We have at least about 1 or 2 new subscribers a day, which is a pretty great pace. We want to raise that up to at least 5 subscribers, new subscribers a day. So if we can do that, please help me get to that peak, y'all. Let's see what else we got going on. You can also listen to us on the radio airwaves with our through our friends at WDJY 99.1 FM, straight talk in the Metro Atlanta area. So we want to thank them for being a great partner with the Arrington Gavin Show. And yes, we are continue to grow that platform and grow, and it's a growing network. And so we're so thrilled to be a part of them. Also, before I get going, social medias, be sure to follow us on all social medias. Okay, you can follow us on Instagram at the Arrington Gavin Show, Blue Sky, X, as well as Substack. You can check us out on Substack. And yes, be sure to follow us. I truly appreciate that. All right, before we get going, let's go ahead and thank some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show. I always love to acknowledge them before we keep this show on the road, like our friends over at the Dapper Luke collection. That's right. Attention, gentlemen, it's time to elevate your wardrobe. At the Dapper Luke collection, they believe style isn't just about clothes, it's about making a statement. From tailored suits that fit like a dream to casual essentials that define effortless sophistication, Dapper Luke has it all. Weddings, interviews, or a night out on the town, they've got you covered. So do me a favor, visit the Dapper Luke collection today, or you can go visit him at his two locations. He has one located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, off of Holland Road. That's the one that's more closer to me because I am a Hampton Roads native. And he also has a location out in Baltimore, Maryland. So there's two retail locations where you can go in person. But as I mentioned, you can go online at Dapper Luke Collection. You can also follow him on all social media platforms. He's a dear friend of mine. Shout out to Dapper Luke. He's also a veteran. Okay. And he served, I want to say, over 20 years in the Navy. He created my wedding suit. He's created so many other specialty pieces for me, man, and he's one like no other. So I highly recommend to support this brother and his amazing brand, and just to it caters to men and women. All right, men and women. It's always important to have a great suit, custom suit, especially if you happen to be a business owner or going to a lot of networking events like myself. Being a business owner and media personality, I am at function after function after function. I never sit still, but I always have to make sure I got some good threads to make keep it sharp, especially election season. Primaries is coming up before you know it, and yeah, it's needed to make sure that your presentation, because your appearance is a part of your presentation and your brand, so you want to make sure you have a great suit, a great set of threads to hook you guys up. Look, my friends, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll start off with our first story, and then we'll continue with some more great stories here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So as always, thank you for tuning in to the show. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up. Yeah, this that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In GOATs, we trust.
Welcome back, my friends, to the Arrington Gavin Show. Thank you so much for staying with us. Look, let's get it going with our first story of the day. Look, we're going on. Let's start off with some sports news. The end of an era at ESPN, and you're probably wondering, what era are you talking about, Arrington? Well, let me break it down to you. So I don't know if you all heard, but there's been so many shakeups happening just in front of our eyes on when it comes to what we watch. A lot of long-standing shows are not standing tall anymore. They're going over, networks and channels are going through a shift when it comes to, okay, what programs are the ones that's going to keep us at the top, which ones are kind of failing us, which ones, when is it time to say enough is enough, or just to say, okay, look, it's about that time I think it's time to pull the plug on this show. That show is Around the Horn. So for a lot of y'all that are huge ESPN watchers, Around the Horn has been in existence for years, approximately 23 years. One of the popular sports debate shows will be airing its final episode on May 23 of 2025. Okay, says here that ESPN's discussion and debate show that has been a staple, obviously, on the sports network for more than 23 years will air its final show. The program will premiere. The program premiered on November 4th of 2002 with the host Max Kellerman, produced more than 4,900 episodes. After Kellerman left for Fox Sports, Tony Riley took over the show in 2004 and has been at the helm ever since. Talk about a hell of a gig for him, because it's funny. I've always seen the show. I've never paid attention at the show. Never understood. Like, I'm like, what am I even watching here? Never understood, like, what was that guy, like, what was the host kind of position? How did they score points? How did they score who won, who this, who that? And I was just like, I never understood it, but I just knew it was there. So I just thought it was interesting because, like I said, it's been a long-standing show for many years. And obviously, you have multiple debate sports shows in front of our eyes, especially on ESPN. But I mean, none like the number one debate show, and that's First Take. But let me talk a little more about this. Around the Horn has had a remarkable run for more than 2 decades. That kind of longevity in the media is incredibly rare, and I'm reading this quote from one of the executives at ESPN. And as I go back to the quote, says here is incredibly rare, and we look forward to celebrating the show's many accomplishments before the final sign off. That ESPN executive vice president and executive editor of sports news and entertainment, David Roberts, is what he had to say about that. He also added on, beyond Tony and the ensemble of on-air contributors, we are particularly grateful to the production team led by Eric Rydholm and Aaron Solomon, who have been instrumental in Around the Horn's consistent success since the very beginning. Wow. Panelists over the years included Ja Adand, Kevin Blackenstone, or Blackystone, Tim Collishaw, Jamel Hill, Frank Osler, Bomani Jones, Mina Kims, Jackie McCullum, or excuse me, Jackie McMullen, Woody Page, Bill Plosh, and Bob Ryan. Now, out of the, I'm gonna say out of the, it was 3 people that caught my attention that I knew that were, familiar people. Jamel Hill, because she went on to host co-host a show called His and Hers. She then went on to have a success creating her own media company and brand and all that good stuff. Bomani Jones, obviously another high profile name that came out of ESPN. He was on Dan Le Batard's show. They used to be on ESPN for a minute. Then Bomani started his own program. I think he had like 2 projects that he's still doing, and he's been like kind of a regular on news platforms. Very opinionated guy, very intelligent name. And then Mina Kims has her own podcast. I mean, I believe she's back with ESPN as well. ESPN said in a 30-minute edition of Sports Center, okay, they're saying that in replacement of the show, a 30-minute edition of Sports Center will be airing at that 5 p.m. Eastern time weekdays during the summer. So yeah, man. Hey, all great things must come to an end. That's all I can say about that. All great things must come to an end. Congrats on the show for 23 years on air. Again, I hope that they can utilize some of those names, some of those names that has been involved, the contributors as well as the hosts. I hope they can, find a different place for them. I hope it's not like the end for their work on the network. Again, ESPN is a very large entity. Is owned by Disney, which has a streaming platform. I just read, matter of fact, I think 2 days ago that ESPN was going to be starting a streaming platform. I mean, not streaming platform, but they're going to have a Sports Center Plus that will be like a regular program on Disney Plus. So again, a lot of streaming is taking over. Cable is slowly depleting. A lot of shows that we're familiar and uh that we regularly watch on cable television are starting to be pulled on streaming services, so then we can watch it 24/7 on our mobile devices, on our computers, on our iPads. We just don't have to see it in front of on the TV screens. So I think it's gonna be great stuff coming forth for ESPN, for the show. Again, 23 years, they have nothing to be upset about. It was a great run. Most shows don't even make it past 1 year. Some shows don't even make it past um um 3-4 years. You know what I mean? So 23 years is a remarkable thing. And I think that's why the exec that was speaking about how it's so rare for something to last this long. So yeah, congrats to those cats at ESPN and for again 23 years. So congrats, my friends. Look, let's go ahead and move it on to another story. We're gonna leave sports. We're gonna head on into the entertainment piece. But before I do that, I just gotta share this because I was talking with somebody recently, and I won't call him a friend, but you could just say he's the boyfriend of a lady that is a coworker of my mother's. And so we were talking about movies, and he was just sharing, saying how Denzel's such a great actor and this and that and the other. And he was talking about his favorite Denzel films, and I was like, "Oh, bet. What's some of your favorite, or what is your favorite film?" Because he said he just had one. I was telling him how we were just talking about movies in general, and I was telling him how um this person does great films. This person's one of my favorite actor. This and that, blase blase blase, and he was like, no, Denzel's one of my Denzel uh is one of his. I want to say he said it was his favorite actor, but he just said he's an actor from one of his favorite films. He's like, yeah, I have one of my favorite movies that's from Denzel out of the spread. This explains why, for those who are watching, I have a list of just some selected movies that Denzel has been in. But he said it's my favorite film with Denzel is Training Day. And I was just like, that's a popular film, right? Obviously, everybody always will remember his infamous, okay, all right, okay, King Kong. Like, everybody knows that line from that movie. But this guy had, obviously shared. He's like, I just when I just love that part. And he's like, man, and I'm like, okay. Now you kind of hear the tone in my voice. This man was he was a man of color, but he wasn't African American, and he wasn't a black man. And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of people freely using the N word, ERA, with an A at the end. I I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I feel uncomfortable. I feel as though like it shouldn't be entertained out. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I an angel? Have I used it? Have I used it before? Yes. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not happy that I did, but and I especially don't like it when somebody from a non because here's the thing. It's not okay to really use it in general, but it's specifically not okay for someone of non-African American descent to use it. Okay, because historically that word was being used when it was a period that I don't want to ever have to, and I'm grateful that I never had to live through the civil rights era. But there's people that still use that word. And when he said that, I was just like, Why is that your favorite film out of all the films? So I have a list around of films that's up here. Okay, he played civil rights activist Malcolm X, right? Classic film of one of Denzel's work. Philadelphia, when he played the attorney of a man who was being discriminated, that was fighting against AIDS. That film he had Tom Hanks. He co-starred with Tom Hanks in that film. Crimson Tide. I forgot about that one. Remember the Titans. Inside Man, American Gangster, Great Debaters, Fences. I mean, the equal, action wise, the Equalizers, Gladiator 2. Denzel has been at the top of his game since he started his career. Damn it! And there's so many films that shows off his and you probably Arrington, you're getting a little carried away. You're over exaggerating. I might be, because I'm not saying that Training Day was not a great movie. It's a great movie, everybody, but it's just something that it's just something that bugged me about when he was like, that's his favorite film, and especially specifically that scene, that line that he remembers out of that whole film. That's the one he remembers. And see, by the way, this is the guy that is fairly conservative. He says he's independent, but in my opinion, he's pretty militant right. I mean, yeah, he's the same gentleman. I don't know if I told y'all, but we had a long-standing conversation about DEI, and he shared his take, I shared my take, and let's just say we agreed to disagree. And so when he told me that, I was just like, but set aside from all that, let's come back to a good place. I want to ask you all, what is your favorite Denzel movie? What is your favorite Denzel movie? You can give me your top 3. Do me a favor, put it in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, or if you're listening to us via podcast. Let me know which is your favorite Denzel movie, because it's funny. My good buddy, who's no stranger to the show, Malik Abdul, radio host, GOP strategist. He's a regular. You see him a lot all the time on cable television, on different networks, News Nation, CNN. He's been on there quite often on CNN. I hope they make him a regular up there, because he has been giving in some, his insight as a conservative. And so there's a segment on the show that he was on. I think it was called Table of Five, or it's Abby Phillips' program. I forgot which one it was, but he gave his take, and asked, hey, look, you got 30 seconds, give us your. He said that he didn't get all the hype about the film Gladiators with Denzel Washington. I was just like, see, we already went head to head on the Kendrick Lamar halftime, but let me be honest. Can I be honest with you? Okay. Then that Gladiator movie was so dope. For one, I purposely, and yes, you could say I'm biased because I'm a fan of Denzel. I purposely watched the first. I never saw the first Gladiators. That was in 2002. I had to went back and watch the first Gladiators, and then I said, well, I can't wait to see this one. I purposely wanted to see Gladiators because I'm like, oh, this is a film that is kind of unique in the genre of films that Denzel has done. Denzel showing that he's a true thespian. He's a man of theater. All right. He is a multi-time Oscar winner for a reason. He's been nominated out the what. Okay. So I was and I enjoyed it, and I watched it so many times, and it's just what I enjoyed. For one, Denzel can play a villain very great. He can play the good guy very great, but the villain role, man, he just come on. American Gangster, Training Day, he was a villain in that film. He was a villain. The good guy he's been was like The Equalizer, which I might watch that later. I feel like I might watch that film. But yeah, man, I just it blew my mind when he said it was a lot of hype. So yeah, give me your take, my friends. Give me your take on your favorite Denzel film. I truly appreciate that. But while we're staying in the entertainment piece, the pop culture, the Hollywood, let me go ahead and bring up this next story. I thought this was pretty cool. So I don't know if y'all have heard of this show. Where is my? Oh, here we go. I don't know if y'all have heard of this new show. It's a new soap opera show called Beyond the Gates. Beyond the Gates. It is the first ever. Let me share a little more about Beyond the Gates, but let me go ahead and share a graphic first. I always love to add a graphic for those who are watching, just more visual. I know you get tired of seeing my face all the time. So let me go ahead and put a picture to what I'm talking about. But Beyond the Gates, CBS's first first new soap opera since 1987, not only ranked number 1 in its time slot, the 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific time slot, but also boosted CBS daytime lineup. This program has, let's see here, it recently toppled shows like General Hospital, which is a long-standing soap opera show. And let me kind of backtrack it on what made me like interested in this show, because you're probably wondering, like, Arrington, why are you talking about soap operas right now? So little story, little history lesson about me. So as a kid, when my mom dropped me off to my grandmother's house, my grandmother had either two things on television. That was her soaps or that was Oprah. That was always my grandmother said, baby, once Nana finished watching this stuff, you can watch whatever you want, but I'm watching this. I couldn't talk to my grandmother when it was while it was playing. I could not ask for nothing. I could not, if I disturbed my grandmother and she missed any part on her soaps, that was my ass. I'm telling you that right now. And it was so funny because this little kid, I start getting intrigued with the soaps, and I'm just like, I eat my little snacks and drink my little juice boxes. Like, you better not open that door. You better not. I know when the slap is coming. You know what I mean? General Hospital, All My Children's, One Life to Live. Come on now. What else? Well, obviously they have shows like The Young and the Restless, Bold and Beautiful. But what's interesting about these soaps is that, like, the soaps that my grandmother watched, they were on when like my mom and my aunts were kids. So my grandmother passed. She passed last year. At the age of, I believe, 92. Beautiful soul, hilarious individual, one of my best friends. And so, I always try to do little things in honor of her. And one thing was that, okay, I'm gonna start watching the soaps, because that was something that always drew me close. That was our moment of hanging out, right? And so I'm like, okay, CBS has a lot of soap operas. They have, Beyond the Gates, obviously. They have The Young and the Restless. They have The Bold and Beautiful. I said, okay, look, I ain't gonna start watching, Bold and Beautiful and Young and the Restless from the beginning, because that been on for some years. I would still be, look, I'll be in heaven still trying to catch up on them shows. You know what I mean? So I said, well, look, this is perfect. Beyond the Gates is a brand new soap, and the awesome thing is, it's one of the first soaps, especially I believe on CBS, with a majority black cast. I like it. And so I started watching it, and it takes place in Maryland, the DMV area, about a prominent, successful black family, a family that lives in this gated community that was built from their father's father, and who was a famous architect. The son, his son, the patriarch of this show, is a retired senator. Mother's an EGOT. She Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. And then her kids are successful. Everybody got money and has common sense, and that's what I love about it. But it's juicy as I don't know what. So okay, so now going to the big story. So yes, in its first week, it had toppled the charts. It had wasted no time being number one, and I think that is so dope. So it says here, this reported by Michael FairmanTV.com. Says here, it's a very positive sign for the future. Beyond the Gates, daytime's first new network soap opera since 1999, scored with viewers in the Nielsen ratings in the premiere of the first week. Says here that Beyond the Gates, which goes head to head with General Hospital in their time slot, bested the long-running ABC daytime drama in key demos. Overall, the key demo of women 18 through 49, Beyond the Gates ranked 6 for the week among all daytime broadcast shows, with a 0.25 rating. Okay, I'm assuming that's good. In addition, the women 25 through 54, Beyond the Gates also ranked 6 for the week, averaging a 0.39 rating. Both those rating points were up from the series it replaced, The Talk. In fact, it says here, Beyond the Gates performance in the 2 p.m. slot, best over the last few years for women in the 18 through 49 demo since the week that was actually good was March 7th through 11th, 2022. And let's see. So they hit history, because there's been some years where CBS did not succeed in that time slot in the Nielsen's ratings. Overall, says here that Beyond the Gates helped lift the network's sister shows of The Bold and Beautiful and The Young and the Restless. The lead into Beyond the Gate is a Bold and Beautiful, and they were up in all demos for the week. Let's see, anything I want to add to that? No, I don't think it's anymore. I think it's interesting. Here's one thing I think is interesting. Why? What about the men demos, y'all? What about the men? What about the men demos? Because see, they acting like men don't watch soaps. We watch soaps, damn it. We watch soaps. I watch soap operas. I remember. Let me tell you something. How back I go. I remember when there used to be like a soap opera channel where you will always watch, if you missed them on, like when it was live, you can always watch the reruns on that. So there was a channel with nothing but soap operas, different ones back to back to back to back to back. Literally just a soap opera show, soap opera channel. And so yeah, I watched them all. I'm like, that's how everybody know who Luke and Laura was. Come on now, come on. I used to sit with my homies in college, and we all, I mean, I'm just saying, athletes, man's men, right? And we will all be like, man, remember when we dropped off to grandma's house? What were we watching? Soaps. Come on, everybody. That's a part of the culture, man. Of course we watch soaps, man. We love our soaps. We love our little drama. Now the real life soap opera shows are reality television shows, which is, I think, it's trash, because it's so-called reality, but it's scripted. I prefer to watch an actual scripted show where it's not real, but it might have accurate events, which I think that's why Beyond the Gates is so successful, because it hits home with some very strong related topics. I wanted to share the cast of the show with you all, because it has some familiar folks that is in this lineup, like Tamara Tooney. We all loved her as I think she was the coroner. What was her title? I knew her from Law and Order SVU. She played the medical examiner Melinda Warner in Law and Order from 2000 to 2021. But prior to that, before that, she started off at CBS on the soaps As the World Turns, which that soap opera ended up getting canceled, but she was on there from 87 to 95, and then 99 to 2007. whoa, she has a great career. So, but I knew her. I personally knew her as the medical examiner from Law and Order SVU, and so she's not the only one. She plays the matriarch Anita Dupree. And then you got Clifton Davis, Mr. Clifton Davis. Now, I got familiar of knowing who Clifton Davis was from a sitcom show called Amen that starred Sherman Hemsley. That was on for 5 seasons, and Clifton Davis played the pastor. But really, Clifton Davis has a far larger resume than what I'm sharing with you all. Actor, singer, songwriter, minister, and author. He wrote the Jackson 5's number 2 hit "Never Can Say Goodbye" in 1987. He has numerous Broadway credits. Let's see here. I want to say, does he have a Grammy? He's a minister of the Baptist Church. I do know that. He's been a guest host many times on the Trinity Broadcasting Network. Didn't he? I could have sworn he was a Grammy. A Grammy award winning for his a Grammy award winning songwriter. I could be wrong. Well, I cannot verify that, but again, career goes back way back. I mean, amazing career. So there, he's the matriarch. He's the patriarch. Miss Tamara is the matriarch. Vernon Dupree and Anita Dupree, they're the folks who are at the helm of that. We also see familiar faces. Let's see, Tim and Kyle Durrett. I've seen him in other pieces. He plays Bill Hamilton. I mean, the list goes on and on of some familiar folks on that show. But again, I love it. It's amazing. Y'all should watch it. Again, Beyond the Gates. Beyond the Gates. If you happen to have Paramount Plus, you can watch it on demand through that. That's how I catch up, because obviously I'm usually working around when it comes on TV, so I never can catch up with it. But I highly recommend to check out Beyond the Gates. It's dope. It's great representation of the world, in my opinion, because it shows a realistic view. Not all the soap operas have to have. Here's the thing: the soaps always used to show majority of the wealthy folks that were predominantly white. Now, my issue with this is just like, okay, just show the facts, facts about what really goes on in our society. This, stop kind of placing people of color with small roles, or just a role of like, okay, they're in the nots position, the have-nots, and then we are the haves. You know what I mean? So I really enjoy the show because it shows a great diversity of cast members. And like I said, it's the majority of the cast. It's the first show that has a majority black cast, but it's a variety of different folks from different cultures, different backgrounds, and it's really interesting. So I highly recommend to check it out. Again, the name of that show is Beyond the Gates. It airs 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CBS, 1 p.m. Pacific Time on that same network. My friends, look, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We still have a lot more show for you. You are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
is happening, y'all? What's happening? Look, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Welcome back. Welcome back. I want to bring it on into politics. That's what I love to discuss is politics, and so um, I want to share some of my thoughts on the current president's first State of the Union. We recently had that aired on TV. I don't know if you tuned into it. I was in and out. I was actually watching State of Our Union that was hosted by Roland Martin and the Black Star Network. That was an amazing show. He had loads of panelists. There was an address while Donald Trump was speaking. They also had civil rights activist Reverend William Barber speak, and he gave a standing O sermon because again, it's the state of our union, something that everybody can benefit on. Because I'm sorry, but a good portion of the time you have Trump spewing out hatred, lies, and it's like, okay, why waste your time even watch it? But hey, I've watched stuff that I cringe over. I've watched stuff that I watch stuff that I agree with. I watch stuff that I disagree with, and so yeah, I watched it. But I want to share some of my thoughts on it. So of course it was a circus, because you had some Democratic lawmakers decided not to attend the address. I know that's the first for my lifetime to see. You had a lot of folks skipped it. You had folks walk out. You even had a gentleman, Representative Al Green, ejected for protesting during the State of the Union. You had folks wearing pink in solidarity again to in a disagreement with President Trump's stance on things. He had folks holding signs. I mean, it was a lot. But let me go ahead and play this sound bite from when they had sent out Representative Al Green out of, I want to say he's out of Texas, for protesting. So let's go ahead and play this, and then we'll talk on the other side.
And one counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Green said, I will not.
Willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum. The chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
It's funny because Representative Al Green, Democrat out of Texas. It's funny because like he has that swag like if he could be like the actual Al Green, right? And so let me go ahead and take that out because I want to share the video of because hearing words from Representative Al Green, reason why he did it, and I think it's very I think it will be very important. So we'll have an understanding. You know why? So why did you do that? Why did you protest and refuse to sit down after the speaker told you to sit down? And so let me go ahead and find that piece of. This is from the congressman who was thrown out, Representative Green. So let me go ahead and share that one with you guys. Which, by the way, it's not like this is like the first time we've ever seen anybody from the opposing side protest a sitting president. I mean, we've seen it a lot on the right, but yet the speaker didn't throw Marjorie Taylor Greene out. Speaker never thrown out Lauren Boebert out because Marjorie Taylor Greene was a heckler. Let's go even further. Let's go way back during the Obama time. Remember when the guy said, "You lied, you lied." There was no authority, and that is what's frustrating. That is what's frustrating. That is what's frustrating. A lot of Democratic voters. And so, hold on, y'all. I'm over here trying to. Over here, texting my wife at the moment. So it's just it sickens me because in the way that the Democratic Party was saying, "Oh look, we're going to show them," y'all holding up little bingo signs, wearing all pink. I mean, it's just. That's not what we mean by fighting. I give props to Congressman Green because what he did was like, no, bump it. I don't even want to be here in the first place. I'm going to continue. And he got the slick, long, soft hair and the cane. He always rocking the cane. And he was pointing that cane at everybody. That was funny. Now, I talked about Congressman Green a while back because he was the first guy to initiate the articles of impeachment. To me, I just thought that was a waste because I'm like, okay, when y'all did that before, where did that lead besides just being on his record? Like he does not care about that. That did not stop him. So what is that going to do? That's just really out of the spite that you really dislike this guy. So let me go ahead and play you what the Congressman Green had to say after getting removed from the State of the Union address.
It is the best way to get it across to a person who uses his incivility against our civility. He is a person who has consistently been used incivility against civility.
Do you think it was in the house? Is that what you said?
Well, look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me. I said I'll accept the punishment, but it's worth it to let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
So were you saying you have no mandate? Is that what you told me?
That's what he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. None.
Is the only punishment that you accept, or is there something?
I don't know. Whatever the punishment is, I'm not fighting the punishment. This is about the people who are being punished by virtue of losing their health care. This is the richest country in the world, and we have people who don't have good health care. We've got to do better. And now we're about to cut Medicaid, which is for poor people. Health care has become wealth care for many people. and we can't afford to let that happen.
Is that the only thing that you're protesting?
No, I have other.
He was gonna mention some more, but for the sake of time, I can either continue this on the a little bit on the next show. But I mean, he spoke his piece and why he did so. And you know what? I can't be mad at him because once again, and I'm saying this as a independent, as a anti-Trump fan, right? What I see on the right is that they treat y'all like dirt. They call y'all names. They do this, they that. They bully you, and they get away with it, and they win. What does the Democrats do? A lady literally while Trump was walking in the aisle, and heading to the pulpit, heading to the podium. There was a lady holding a sign that said, "This is not normal." Somebody on the right snatched it, threw it in the air. Nothing. Now I'll be honest. Snatch it out of my hand. I will say something. I'm not going to fight you, but I will say something, or I'll have another one just to ignore you. Be like, that's why I got multiple. Ha ha ha. Jokes on you. But really, the signs, that's not going to help. The signs are not going to help. And I'm not the only one that's saying this. We have folks like Simone Sanders Townsend of MSNBC, and she's a former she worked under the Biden-Harris administration, and this is what she had to say in regards to seeing what she saw as far as Democrats, y'all feel strong and mighty now. No. So let me go ahead and see if I can find. See if I'm looking at my time. I tell you, man, it's always hard to put everything in all in 1 hour. But let me go ahead and see if I can share that clip with you all. She sat down with the variety of anchors and analysts at MSNBC, and so this is what she had to say in regards to the Democrats, how their way of protesting.
How they gonna snatch your back, Michael, when they holding up bingo or auction signs?
I was gonna say, well, thank you, Simone.
Can we talk about it?
The bingo signs were killing me. I don't know who thought up the bingo signs, but they should be fired.
Michael, this is an indictment, in my opinion, on the Democratic leadership. I talked to a lot of members they was texting. The staff were on my phones and they were calling. And I think the best way to describe it is the Democratic leadership said they didn't want disruptions and they wanted people to attend and bring a guest, and they wanted, little business as usual, and we're fighting back in other ways. There is a palpable disgust, as Claire said, from not just the members, but their constituents. And it's like a pot, as someone described it to me, that's boiling, and it's about to bubble over. If you do not allow the members a space to release valve, it's going to bubble over.
When Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert stood up and showed their behinds on the House floor, right? When they just act fool.
Thank you, Chairman.
And talking and being loud and disruptive. What happened?
They stayed.
They stayed. Democrats didn't threaten them. Democrats didn't tell them to sit your behind down and shut up.
What should the Democrats have done tonight instead of what
some
they
of
did?
us believe they shouldn't have shown up. And when the congressman was kicked out, half that room should have left with him, because that was the point. He was the only one to stand up and say, I'm not going to sit here and let you lie.
How they gonna snatch your back, Michael, when they holding up bingo?
That is what I'm saying, Democrats. Listen to people. Listen. Y'all literally watch one of your longest standing congressmen, who is a fighter, just walk by himself. I'll tell you who walked with him, or who walked right after him. Bernie Sanders. Oh, Bernie Sanders skipped the EA, said, I have a much better speech than that. Like Bernie is, you already know, Bernie's a socialist. Bernie cannot stand, cannot stand Trump. But see, y'all Democrats gonna have to start realizing your strategy, the way what you guys are doing is just, it's not working, y'all. And y'all letting an unqualified, incoherent individual, walk all over you. Hell, I was listening to a gentleman. He actually said, look, Trump is more like the spokesperson. You got Musk in charge, and you got oh gosh, what did he say? He said somebody else was the VP, but I can't remember who. But you have this guy just trampling over y'all, and it's just like, What's next? And then I get sick when people say, oh my gosh, stop being so petty. Stand up and respect. You can agree to disagree. No, don't give me that BS, because when it was the other way around, you all were team anti-civility. And so that's where I'm going with y'all. Call a spade a spade. You can't say that the Democratic Party put an end to civility when who was the person that was the crap starter in the first place? Majority of y'all know he is not a qualified person to lead the United States. Y'all, people in the Republican Party know that. They know that. But guess what? They focus on the impact. His impact is what's winning. Democrats don't have any candidates with impact. They might have Democrats that has the mentality, right? You got qualified folks. You got a Josh Shapiro. You got, like I said, well, I spoke highly about Westmore, I still will. But you got a Josh Shapiro. You got all these individuals that is your quote. You know, your Gretchen Whitmore, as your I don't know, Pete Buttigieg. You have folks that are even Gavin Newsom, right? Qualified, but does not have the impact that Donald Trump has in office. Donald Trump started a movement. Donald Trump runs the House and the Senate. Donald Trump got the richest folks in the world to bend the knee. That's the kind of power he has right now. So I'm going to continue my take on the next show because I'm running out of time, because it's a lot more I want to dissect with that State of the Union address. But all I can say, folks, is please, please, please be aware, stay informed, stay alert, keep your elected officials accountable, continue to spread the narrative on, if you happen to be on the opposing end of the current administration, then please keep your elected officials and those who are either thinking about it accountable. And what is it going to take, to defeat? Voting, y'all. People got to vote. You got to vote. Your vote is your power. Your voice is your power. Get involved. Get involved with some of your local groups. There are folks out there hurting. You got veterans. You got minorities. You have people out there hurting. I'm telling you, what's in store under this new administration, man, it's gonna be sad. I mean, I feel like every day I see a protest happening in different areas, protesting out of GOP GOP members office. I mean, it's not good at all. But look, my time is running out, y'all. Please continue to tune to the Arrington Gavin Show, available on all digital and streaming platforms. I will see you next time. Look, download the GOATverse TV app. It's free, available on the App Store, Google Play Store, as well as on Roku and Amazon Fire. You can listen to this show as well as wherever you listen to your podcasts, as well as on the radio airways of WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. Peace and blessings, family. I will see y'all next time. I'm out.